All right, welcome back. We're going to continue on with this topic of Leviathan. This is going to be part 18 of Dinosaurs and Man. And what we're going to do is, this one I don't think is going to be quite long. I'm trying to keep this as in bite-sized segments as I can. And so, but what I want you to do is, if you'll notice on the screen, this right here is three popular ideas or theories on what Leviathan could be, and one of them being the whale, another one being a whirlpool. I have yet to understand why they think it could be a whirlpool with some of the descriptions that the Bible gives about teeth and fire going from the mouth, and I just can't quite understand that one. But crocodile is another one. That folks have interpreted as Leviathan as possibly being, and but with it being a whale, I can understand. With the whales can be pretty scary and intimidating for sure. But where is the neck on the whale? So it talked about Leviathan having a strong neck. And so, but again, we're talking about there's a real problem with that interpretation of the fire. And though some people might want to take it figuratively, the Bible is very descriptive on exactly about the fire. And I don't want to get into the fire right now because I'm going to take a whole video to just talk about just the fire alone. But what I want to do here is talk about some more of the aspects of Leviathan. And so this one here, I'm just going to center on just the water. It says that the Leviathan lives in the water. And so we're going to go through a few verses that talks about the location of where this animal lives. Now, of course, Job 41:1, we read this chapter earlier, but it does say here, that canst thou draw out Leviathan with a hook, or his tongue with a cord which thou lettest down? So in mentioning a hook and letting it down, it may be a little weak here to support the water idea with this one verse here. But again, you're seeing this. You're going to, what do people normally do? Well, they always say, hey, have you let down your hook already? That's kind of a little fishing term. And so, but at any rate, I'm going to use it as an evidence for Leviathan having his home or his abode in the water. Now, 41:7, Job chapter 41, verse 7, canst thou fill his skin with barbed irons? Now, that barbed is translated as dart. It's translated as dart. So, but barbed irons, canst thou fill his skin with barbed irons, or his head with fish spears? Fish spears. Now, if you'll notice on the screen here, this is, when you think of barbed, what do you think of barbed? Most of us should think of a barbed wire. Basically something that is spiky, is real spiky. If you get that caught into your skin, it's going to hurt. But the barbed arrow, look at the bottom there. That is a barbed arrow. Now, if you was to throw that, that's going to hook into some flesh, and you're going to have a hard time pulling that out. It's going to get in, and it's not going to be easy to get back out. So when they're thinking of barbed irons, the Bible's speaking of barbed irons, it very well could be speaking about this. Something of like a harpoon, something that you would throw out. And it would hook into the flesh thereof. Now, fish spears. We're talking about fish spears here. This right here is what a fish spear looks like. Guys, when I went to go looking on images on fish spears, there were several different types or styles of fish spears. But this right here, I think gives you the idea of what we're talking about. Again, you're going to throw this out, and it's going to hook into that flesh of the fish, and it's not going to be able to wriggle away. And so, but again, you got your barbed wire, the barbed irons and the fish spear. Okay, let's continue on here. Job 41, Job chapter 41, 31 to 36. He maketh the deep to boil like a pot. That's a water term. The deep to boil. And so you're thinking about water boiling like a pot. He maketh the sea like a pot of ointment. He maketh a path to shine after him. One would think the deep. There we go again, the deep. You're thinking of water, the depth of the sea. So again, there's a aquatic type of description here. Psalm 104, 25 to 26. So is this great and wide sea, wherein our things are creeping innumerable, both small and great beasts. And then it goes talking about the ships. There go the ships, and that Leviathan, whose thou hast made to play therein. So there we go. We got more of an aquatic environment. There's an aquatic environment for this animal. And so, but guys, I'm going to stop right there. Believe it or not, that is going to be it. We are going to continue next time, and might be getting into the fire aspects. We may just go ahead and get to the fire aspects of it. And that one's going to take me some time. There's some other things I want to look into and see if I want to add it to this presentation here. I think I probably am. And but if you guys also like a good book to read, I'd advise this one right here. I was looking in my library, and I got a good library of books here, guys. I like books. I like to tear apart the books. And so I got this one here, Dragons of the Deep. Dragons of the Deep. I don't know if you can see that there. It's by Carl Whelan. Carl Whelan. You can see that up top. Just remember, Dragons of the Deep. This is a creationism type thing, but I didn't share anything on this video that has to do with this. I just saw it and just was kind of getting some ideas of some of the fossils that they have found. And this thing here, they really go pretty deep onto some of the gigantic aquatic animals that have been found, reptilian type animals that have been found, aquatic quote unquote dinosaurs that have been found that used to live in the ocean, gigantic things. And so this is a good book here if you guys want to read that. But I saw that in my library, and of course this one right here, this is not a creation book, but I did eyeball this. This is the Golden Book of the Mysterious. And so this one here I think was from 1976. It used to be in a library right there. Evidently the library got rid of their books, and this thrift store, I'm wanting to say I got it in Mount Airy is where I believe I got it at, but I didn't find anything. I was just looking. There was one in here on sea creatures, and they did mention how some of the naval ships way back in the day reported animals. If you remember the previous videos, one of them I talked about how the Leviathan had a description of being wreathed, which means twisted or coiled, and so how this animal, like if you remember me talking about the Chinese, how they draw their dragons of being twisted and looping upon itself. Well, it was really kind of interesting that in this book here, this the Golden Book of the Mysterious, it talks about how naval ships would describe sea serpents that they found, that they would coil. They would be coiled and all kind of twisting in a twisting manner as they're out in the sea. They would see them. And so, but at any rate, guys, I hope you've enjoyed it. This is, like I said, a short one. Hopefully, we'll be able to get into the description of the fire, and so. But I want to take my time with it, just kind of chew on this. And but if you want to check out this book again, Dragons of the Deep, boy, I tell you what, there's some impressive animals in there that sure could fit a large, a scary type of animal that somebody would call Leviathan. But the only thing is, none of these animals, at least in the descriptions that they give here, appear to have any type of ability to produce fire, and heat. And so, but at any rate, guys, y'all take care. We'll see you next time.